What's up, guys? So this video's, if you clicked on this video, you're watching it, thanks for coming through. Hope you liked the video. But just to lay down some things that have been going on. For starters, I made this video before the playoffs started. So obviously I know what's going on with the Memphis LA series. Also in this video, I referenced Lamar Jackson. I made this video before he signed his contract extension, so shout out to him. I think I even referenced it in the video. And finally, I made this video before the incident with Mikey Williams when he got arrested. Now, I'm not going to get into too much with that as of right now, but a lot of what I said in this video could apply to Mikey. Obviously, different circumstances, different people. Obviously, Mikey's a lot younger. You were talking about a guy who's still in high school. I hope the best for him because, honestly, I never like seeing black kids, essentially, like young black kids, especially young black boys, being caught up in the system. And I hope that if he is innocent, I hope that he can move forward and he can continue on with his career. He's going to have to work harder now, and he's going to have to earn the trust of many people again. But I hope that he gets the grace of getting that opportunity. Obviously, it's a conversation about black boyhood. It's a conversation about the themes that we deem as cool and acceptable. Also deeming, we don't really know his life all that much or his family dynamics. There's some things that I agree with and disagree with the Mikey situation, but all in all, it's still very fresh. It's still very new. I think what's helping him is the fact that he does not have a criminal record, and he is still young. So I can't really talk about it, but like I said, a lot of what I said in this video could also apply to Mikey. So just take that as if you're watching this video, reference that I do know and I've heard about the Mikey Williams situation. And so all in all, enjoy the video and I hope you like it. See you soon.
No lie, spinning the block and hood rat things with my friends is one of the funniest reasons to not play in a game. I remember being at work and I was getting ready to leave. One of my coworkers just immediately said, "Yo, Morant just got suspended." After he said why he got suspended, me and a few others around me just had this simple reaction: he's an idiot. So as the time of writing this, he's been back for about 3 weeks now. The playoffs are about to start. I've just been busy right now. That's why I haven't been able to get this video out the way I wanted to. But I wanted to at least get my take on it because, I've had a lot of, discourse and conversation about this. And I'll put this out there. I like the Grizzlies and I like Morant. They're a fun team, and in a league where many teams try to keep us clean slate with the media and public perception, the Grizzlies just don't care. If you find them annoying, good for you. They do them. They have this us against the world mentality that many teams in the past have and they have adopted. And it inspires the team, it inspires the fan base, and it really brings a lot of energy to the games that they play. A lot of teams try to play their best games just to spite them, which makes good basketball. The discourse nonetheless has been fascinating because it's a team that's really good, with a guy that can be at any given time put himself in the best point guard in the league conversations, with a strong, young, fun team that's in a small market. And we typically cheer for that type of combination. And we've gone from everyone loving them and their fast and furious playstyle to hating their guts in the span of less than a year. This is usually reserved for teams who are winning a lot or have won a ring. And to be honest, I've seen the shift happen. It started last season because this team was like a big ass AAU team. They would crowd around each other during interviews, turning up, getting active. They would dance, Ja would gritty a lot. They acted a lot like a team from Memphis. And when I tell you, this team talks shit with no regard. They were on them happy to be here. They're young, they're talented, and you heard about it, which to fans of other teams made them go from fun to annoying and wanting the proverbial being humbled. And then the playoffs came, and yeah, they did a lot of young team stuff. Like, they had so many great highs and they had a lot of great lows. That first round against Minnesota, fire. It was fire for all the right and wrong reasons. Like, it was some of the best and worst basketball you'll ever see. And then they had their series against Golden State, which, let's be real, if Ja didn't get hurt, they probably could have made that a 7-game series. I don't think they would have won, but they could have made it a little more interesting. Overall, even the biggest Memphis detractors couldn't discredit the season the team had and the trajectory that team was going to, and the new era of Grizzlies basketball is amongst some of the brightest in the league. They've only been rebuilding for, what, 3 years up to this point? And this season, they're pretty much the same team with almost the same roster. I believe they could have matched their 56 win mark from the season before, but a mix of, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, Desmond Bane, and Brandon Clark missed a lot of time. And Ja has missed time as well, but all his reasons are very much nigga moment related. Before the most recent thing, there was a report with Ja's entourage and the Pacers getting into it after the game, and then allegedly someone in Ja's crew flashed a red beam to the Pacers bus when they was leaving, which prompted an NBA investigation. It's never good when you hear your potential MVP, potential face of the league, and NBA investigation in the same sentence. Hell, even last year, after his bout back and forth with somebody on Twitter, and then he publicly tweeted, "You can find out how hollow tips feel." And now that little ass gun in the club, bro, has 3 instances involving guns, and all the other controversies we're not even close to being done yet. All the other controversies that this guy has gotten himself into, they don't involve guns, but they involve bad calls of judgment and rash decision making. Whether it's pulling up 10 deep to a mall after your mom gets to an altercation with a Finish Line employee, or pulling up mad deep with a high school kid after your sister gets called a bitch during a basketball game, or him being sued for beating up a 17-year-old during a pickup game. Like, Ja's controversy section of his Wikipedia page is longer than his NBA career so far. Now, to be honest, when you read into a lot of these situations, I kind of see why Ja acted the way he did. If you disrespect someone's mom or you disrespect somebody's sister, you're gonna feel a way, and you're going to act, especially if you have the ability to. The Twitter thing came about like after the guy was like talking crazy about either, I think, about Ja's baby moms or Ja's like thought. I don't really know what that came out of. However, with this many incidents surrounding your name, and all of them either involving guns or rolling mad deep with man, like okay, I don't know. I need to say this. Like, if you rolling, you don't need 10 niggas to go. You don't need 10 mans to go talk to a high school student. They call the police. Like, all the time. That they're always gonna do that. Now, don't get it twisted. The jokes is funny, and the jokes are mostly warranted because Ja's been wilding for the past year, and the NBA has been trying to showcase next players of the game, and Ja's been doing everything in his power to make that not happen. There are plenty of players that have had similar or worse upbringings to Ja, and have been tempted the same way Ja has, and have been able to calm that down and see the bigger picture and bring a better, more peaceful life for themselves and their loved ones, truly breaking the cycle. Ja probably wants all those things too, but he simply keeps choosing the most over-the-top way to handle all his issues. This has prompted everyone in the media, even those who don't really follow NBA like that, to have an opinion on Ja's mentality, his character, his leadership, his gang affiliations, and it's reared many ugly and just flat out racist takes. There's love, there's disappointment, there's mockery in all the discourse, but there is something that's not being talked about. Skip Brothers brought this up, and he asked simply, is this what Ja's been like all along? The reality is that we really don't know these athletes, and that what we do know about them is what we've been allowed to have access to. We use narratives based on what we know and their games to fill in the blanks. I remember reading an article about Russell Westbrook in 2017, and it finished with the line saying, "Russ is whoever you want him to be, and he's okay with that." Russell Westbrook doesn't talk to the media that much or do interviews, so we make personality traits based off his game and in comparison to his peers. Ja is kind of the same. We really know little about his upbringing or his life before his run at Murray State. The last 5 years have been something crazy for him. All of his life has pretty much changed. He went from a pretty good college basketball player at some mid-major in Kentucky to one of the top 10 to 12 best players in the NBA, and the face of the new era for Nike basketball and Nike basketball sneakers, especially when he was signed after one of the most popular athletes at Nike was dropped and development was in motion for his upcoming shoe. One of the most anticipated shoe debuts in recent memory. He was signed to be the new face of Powerade. He's one of the new faces of NBA basketball, as the era we're used to is steady on The Last Stand. But with all of this comes now millions of fans and people believing they know more about you than what they see. But with all this comes millions of fans, millions of people believing they know more. So when they see Ja pistol totes or him putting himself in hood nigga shit, they feel the need to question if he's putting on a front. We also have the family photo of Ja and what looks like he was in high school or something. And for some reason, people believe he took a picture in his backyard and he's faking or some stupid shit like that. Also, if your only perception of the hood is Compton or New York or Chicago, you don't know hood life. You just know good rappers and good movies. This isn't really about glorifying the hood or that life. Ja has had many blessings in his upbringing. He's lived in a 2-parent house when his dad was actively participating in his son's life and his dreams. He grew up with a family, being really close to family. However, your environment molds what you become. It molds your beliefs, it molds your values. When you have people saying that you're living a lie, they're questioning aspects of what makes you you. And now all of a sudden, you have people that don't know your story, but they know your basketball story. They don't know your upbringing. And now they're all of a sudden they feel entitled to talk about what your life was like before the NBA. That would piss you off. I guarantee it would. So what I believe is happening is that, and this is just my opinion, I believe Ja is playing a caricature of himself. Because in his head, he's probably like, oh, so you think I'm fake? Bet, watch this. And he's doing this caricature because, one, it makes the comments bother him less, because we all read what people say and it gets to us. We're humans, it gets to us. So we put on some sort of a mask or some sort of a front to just make it not bother us as much. And also to put on this image that you can't just walk all over me or say whatever you want about me. Look, all the top basketball players, a lot of top athletes have this type of mentality that you're not just gonna walk all over them. Some take, and I think for Ja, I think he's taking that and he's taking it way too far. Like, my issue with all of this is that he's putting on this caricature for people who literally don't matter. Like, who cares if a random Twitter user number 4 believes you're fake? It does not matter. From what I could find, Ja's upbringing was seeing his dad and his mom surrounded by the same people all the time, coming over to the house all the time. And one of the main lessons he was taught was that you'll keep your circle small and show love to the people who you're loyal to. Loyal to the soil that raised you. For Morant, those people like in his circle, he doesn't see, they're not just friends. He sees them extensions of his family and himself, and he gets praise for keeping the same, and we praise people for keeping the same circle that they started out with. For Ja, having his people, probably the people he trusts most of all, and cutting them off is doing something that goes against what makes him him. However, Ja and his homies have to understand that he's in a different space in his life now. I know it happened fast, but when you're leading a team into playoff runs, seen as a new superstar and a face of a multi-billion-dollar organization, multiple multi-billion-dollar organizations, and can command potentially 200 M's to your name, you are now hit with new responsibilities that you have to manage. You're now the person that can provide for your family, create millionaires out of your people, and set the next generation of your family off of your hard work and talent. It may not be like cutting them off cold turkey. It may just be loving them from a distance. If they can't understand it. And I guarantee we all have people we don't bring around other circles because we know how they get. Hell, if those people are really your people, they wouldn't even want you to fuck up your blessings like that. I would really hate that Ja puts himself in a position that allows people and entities that believe in him to take away the shit he's worked for. Whatever environment influenced him, he made it out. His talent, his circle, his family, his hard work has propelled him to be the person that can change the trajectory of his whole team. On top of that, he's a father. So at some point you gotta tighten up. Like you have to leave that shit in the past, because you gotta tighten up, if not just for yourself, for your people that care about you. And if you're going to be in these negotiations, potentially getting generational money, you're going to need to move in a mature way that leaves the past ways of handling issues behind you. It takes time, but it's possible. He's not the first player. He's not the first person who has to do that. I remember seeing an interview with G Herbo, and he talked about one phone call could get you back into an environment that you've been working so hard to get out of. So sometimes you gotta like make those mature decisions. To end this off, because I didn't hear this part of the discussion, is that Ja's not only making an enemy out of NBA fans. I mean, he already did that before. He didn't need this recent issue to do that. He's making an enemy out of the media, a media that votes on awards like the All-NBA, MVP, and all that. They have heavy influence on your reputation, which can be used against you in getting endorsements and contract negotiations. Like, to be honest, I've heard some reports that that's already kind of happened, because if he gets voted off of the All-NBA teams, he probably could have cost himself $40 million, making that pistol the most expensive pistol probably in American history. I can name countless NBA players that have had on and off court stigmas and that have lingered throughout their careers, but I don't really have to do that because it's currently happening to Lamar Jackson. A premier young quarterback is having issues getting a contract that he wants, and he's having teams question even the most minuscule details about him and about his character, about his demeanor, and painting a picture of Lamar that isn't fully accurate simply for wanting a better contract. And he has had zero of the off the field issues the comparison to Ja. Lamar has been nothing more than a stand-up individual for Baltimore and for the Baltimore Ravens, and he's having trouble getting the money that he feels that he's earned and which he has earned. All in all, I say all this to say that Ja right now, business as usual, because the Grizz are in the playoffs. They're gonna play the Lakers. That's gonna be a fun series. Hopefully moving forward, Ja just sticks to hooping, because too many people are riding for him to give it up in the chase of an image that doesn't not represent your brand or represent the new version of you. And I hope the fans and the media allow him to do that as well. That's it. This video was kind of all over the place because I'm like kind of talking, like I wrote something down, but also just talking from my mind. I've seen a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new engagement in my last video. Thank you guys so much. That means a lot. I got way more stuff on the way. I can't wait to show y'all. And with that being said, I gotta get out of here, so take it easy.